Hey, it's Brian here with Money Talk with Brian. Welcome. Today I just wanted to talk a little bit about my experience with real estate. I'm not a real estate agent and everyone's experience is different, but I thought it would just be beneficial to share with you my experience with real estate and just some of the little tips and different things that I learned and how it's worked for me. So the first thing is when I first started out having a professional job, at the time I was just renting what I considered a nice apartment. So I think the rent was around $825. It was a nice place, gated. We had our own parking spot, couple rooms. Thought it was great. Then one of my friends brought to my attention, he said, hey, there's these great little condos that if you look at the current interest rate and what the cost is, I think it's quite a bit less than you're even paying for rent right now, and you could start owning some real estate. So I had very little knowledge about that stuff. It was my first introduction into that even being a possibility. So we go and check out this little condo, 2-bedroom, 1.5 bath, 2-story, connected to other units, but with a lot of character. So we go in, really long shag green carpet, some really funky little aspects to it, but they were only asking $75,000 for it. So we did the math, and it just looked like a great opportunity. At least it was less than rent, and we'd have a little place, and with the whole payment, principal and interest, was less than our rent currently, and so it just seemed like a no-brainer. So we were both interested in it. So we flipped a coin to see who was going to be able to make the offer because we were friends. And I happened to win the coin toss. So that ended up being my first purchase in real estate. Moved in, loved the place. Interest rates, this was in the early 2000s. Interest rates were starting to come down and property values were really starting to go up. So after 2 years, we saw that we could sell the place for a $50,000 gain, and because we held it for 2 years, it was tax-free. And so this was like the first real money that I was going to be able to sock away. It was very exciting. So from there, I actually had a friend who had a family member that was in the area that was looking to sell their house. And so we were able to just do a direct contract without a realtor, just on a piece of paper. I can't even believe that the credit union took that as a contract, but they did. And so we bought our first, I believe it was 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath, old type home, but nice yard, big yard. And so that was, I believe, $180,000. Another 2 years goes by. Interest rates had continued to drop. Property values continued to rise. And so we saw that this home had doubled in value. Once again, we're like, whoa, this is great. Things seemed like they might be getting a little toppy as far as real estate. So, we were ready to cash in some chips at that point. So I would highly recommend that you get a good realtor. Make sure that they advise you to prep the house so that it's ready for a quick sell. We were thinking about starting a family, so we moved to a new area that my wife really liked, outside of Sacramento, kind of in the foothills area. And we started meeting with realtor. And so we're like, okay, this is what we're looking for, this and that. This is our budget. And she's just like, you guys, there's nothing for sale in that price. This is when housing was really just going crazy. So we found a brand new apartment that was just being built, didn't even have full, had a lot of nice amenities, nice gym and, high-end type thing. Well, as we're renting there for a while, I was continuing to look for real estate. We noticed that there were a lot of homes for sale. So a lot of people were buying homes as investment properties, but there weren't a ton of renters. And so the rents were really low. So I noticed for maybe like $100 more, we could go from this apartment that was nice, but we could go into a house just right up on the hill that was a brand new build. I think it was 4 bedrooms, 3.5 bath, brand new, beautiful home, 2-story, probably like over 3,000 square feet, just really nice for $100 more. So just scouring the market and taking a look at that. And so as we're in this house, this is when real estate started to peak. So we were watching it closely, but we were very content with renting because we saw where things went and kind of where things were going. So we rented there for a while. Then we started our family and rented another house for a while as we saw that real estate was coming down. And then eventually this home in 2008, we were able to buy this as a foreclosure. So it was being offered at $430,000, but it was such a hot property at the time, there was a bidding war. So we paid, I think, around $30,000 more than asking, but we were able to get the place. Ended up going way lower in value, I think, down in the $350 range. But currently, we just, in previous videos I had mentioned we had done a refinance, and the appraisal came in at $690. So we got very lucky, and it ended up being a great purchase as well. So we'll have to see, to be continued where this goes from here. But that's basically my real estate story. Real estate is definitely not risk-free. Done properly, it can be a great way to get ahead. Some people think that buying a house is too much risk and is not a good thing. Other people think that renting is foolish. I would say that it just depends on your circumstances and what's going on in the prevailing markets. So if you just, a lot of times it's not just going to be a strictly financial decision. If you have children that are in school, sometimes you just want to be in a certain area so that they go to a select school. Or if your kids have different talents, some schools will be better for those type of talents, or whatever you're trying to accomplish. So it's not always a financial decision, but before you have a family, and if you're just strictly looking for the financial decision, sometimes it makes sense to rent, in my opinion. Other times it makes sense to buy. I'd say in the long term, with a purchase done at the right time, buying is the way to go. So everything has risk, but the rewards with real estate done properly are just excellent. So that's my thoughts on that. Hope you have a great day, and we'll see you next time. If you like these tips or this story, please go ahead, if you're not subscribed already, hit the subscribe button and hit notifications so that you don't miss any future videos. Thank you.